I was contacted by a company called Fanttik recently and asked if I would produce a video on this NEX L1 Pro 3.6 v cordless screwdriver, and it's going to be sold from Indiegogo initially, and I'll put a link at the bottom of the video. It's fitted with a 3rd generation magneto rare earth motor. It's smaller, lighter and has more power than most of the leading brand motors out there. Variable speed from 0 to 220 revs per minute with an electronic brake. It's got smart torque control with 6 settings from 6 Newton meters down to 0.5 Newton meters in 6 graduated steps. It comes with a 2000 milliamp hour battery. The battery supports quick charging and you charge it with a USB-C connector. So Fanttik have asked me to try and steer away from mentioning other screwdrivers when I review this, so not to compare it to other screwdrivers. But what I will say before I jump into the video is that I am very impressed with this screwdriver. I think it's a smashing piece of kit. A quick look at the packaging. So when you open the box, you find the screwdriver inside a little carry case there, a fridge magnet and a set of instructions. So inside the case we've got the screwdriver, a short charging cable which is USB to USB Type-C. This is a list of all the accessories that come with the screwdriver, and you can pause it just to see what bits it comes with. But it comes with 13 bits and a 60mm extension. The screwdriver is nice and compact, it's well put together, has a nice feel in the hand. The variable speed trigger is very responsive. It has 3 LEDs which come on as soon as you press the trigger and turn off automatically. On the top of the screwdriver we've got the directional control button, and this is brilliant. The button is an actually brilliant way to change the direction of the screwdriver, and the more I use the screwdriver the better it gets. It's very intuitive and easy to use. This is a torque control and you can see we're on 6, which is 6 Newton meters. These dots here are the battery level indicator, and I'll show you charging the battery after this. So the Shark Chuck has been designed by this team and it's been patented at the moment. I am really impressed with this design. If I put the bit in, you'll see that it's magnetic, but that's not holding the bit. You've got to press the bit in and it clicks in place, and then it is locked solid. You can't move it, it's stuck there. To release it you just pull this forward and take the bit out. Now that is really impressive. Underneath the screwdriver is a charging port, USB-C, so you don't need to worry about which way to connect the lead. The casing is hard plastic and it's got a lovely texture there to give you a good grip. The screwdriver has a very good quality feel about it. So I've put the battery on charge and we'll see how long it takes it to charge from flat. So you can see the state of charge whilst the screwdriver is charging. At the moment we've got 2 lights permanently lit. The first one is 0 to 25%, the second 25 to 50, 50 to 75 and 75 to 100, so we're between 50 and 75% charged at the moment. So that's the battery now fully charged. It took just over an hour and a half from flat to fully charged. I've fully charged the battery and I'm going to find out now how many screws that this screwdriver will drive in and out on one charge without any pre-drilled holes. So I carried this experiment out with a leading brand screwdriver, and the first thing I did was to try a 3-inch screw without a pre-drilled hole to see whether it would drive that home, and it didn't quite make it. And then I went on with a 2-inch screw and driving it in and out without a pre-drilled hole to see how many times I could get on a full charge. I won't film the entire operation. I'll film the 3-inch screw and I'll film the first 2-inch screw, and then I will count how many it takes to finish the job and let you know at the end. So I'm going to start off driving in a 3-inch screw. There's no pre-drilled hole there. Variable speed proves really useful. Actually, that is very impressive. It's virtually driven it home. It's not quite there, but it's not far off. It's just a press of the button to change it from forward to reverse. The actual screwdriver will not let me take that out, so I'll leave that in, and then we'll try driving a 2-inch screw in and out, and we'll see how many times it will do that on a full charge. This will probably be worth 2, 3, maybe 4 screws actually, the 3-inch screw, but we'll just carry on with the 2-inch and see how many we get. So that's one, and I'll carry on and we'll see how many we get. So that's the battery now come to the end of its charge. What's weird was it got to about here and it still had 50% left on the battery, and then it quickly deteriorated down to this particular screw here where it couldn't drive it all the way in.
The grand total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
45, which I think is impressive. And remember, that's driving a screw in and pulling it out without any pre-drilled holes. I'm going to try and demonstrate the smart torque function of this screwdriver. And I was trying to think of the best way to do it. So the way that I'm going to try is I've marked 6 spots on this piece of pine. I've got 6 3-inch wood screws. I'm going to screw each one into the pine using the different torque settings, and then we'll have a look and see how far they've been driven into the wood when I finish the experiment. And try and keep all the conditions reasonably the same so we can get a look at how the different torque settings work. So I'm starting off with number 1. And I'm just going to go in until the actual screwdriver stops. So we'll go to number 2 next. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. And finally, number 6. Now I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty impressive. This is just a shot of the instruction manual that comes with the screwdriver, and if you look at the minimum torque setting, which is number 1, which is 0.5 Newton meters, it says it's fine for laptops, desk lamps, speakers and drones, that type of thing. Now you can pause this and read that if you want, but I just want to show you something you need to be really careful. This is an old 3.5-inch hard drive. It's got an aluminium casing, and I just want to show you something now. So that's on setting 1, which is the lowest torque setting. And I'm going to now that's the 4th time I've tried this. The first 3 times was on another 3.5-inch hard drive with an aluminium casing, and it's just stripped the thread. This is a 2.5-inch hard drive, and the screws actually go into steel ports there. So I'll show you what happens when we try to use the torque setting on the screwdriver with this setup. So we're on torque position 1, hopefully you can see that. That fits in there very well. So it's a perfect size for the screw. And we've literally chewed away the head of the screw there. So it's not suitable for working on small equipment. I think you could do quite a lot of harm if you try and use it inside a computer, or I've got a drone. I wouldn't like to use this on my drone. I think it's quite handy for smaller jobs, so they're a little bit more heavy duty than this, but that's something to be aware of. You can buy these hex mounted drill bits fairly cheaply on Amazon and many other places. Let's see whether it will drill a 4mm drill bit into the wood. This is a 5mm drill bit. .5mm. So it struggles with that, but you can drill a hole with it. That's quite impressive. Hopefully I've given you a reasonable idea on how well this screwdriver performs. I think it is a very capable piece of kit. Now they've asked me not to compare this to higher brand models, but if I was to compare it, it would come out very well. It is a well-made, well-designed tool that is an absolute joy to use. I love the digital display. Changing the direction with the press of a button is a pure joy when you're actually using it, and the more you use it, the better it gets. The torque setting is something new, and I'm sure that people will find that very useful for any number of tasks. Don't forget though that I don't think it's suitable for really small stuff. You could end up with problems if you try it for that. But other than that, I think this thing ticks all the boxes. It's a lovely little 3.6 volt screwdriver. I'm very glad that they sent it to me to have a look at. Personally, I wouldn't hesitate buying one of these things. Indiegogo, I'll put a link at the bottom of the video, and if it does come out on Amazon, I'll also add that link in the future if that happens. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.